One of the distinguishing facts about Thailand is it has a wealth of women in business. So today, I want you to get to meet one of its top leaders, who is the CEO of Dusit International Group, which is a hospitality group that contains hotels, resorts, food company, catering, and so on. And we are delighted that its CEO is someone who is well known here in Thailand, Ms. SUPHAJEE, and you will get to meet her shortly. So, SUPHAJEE, you had 20 years at IBM.
23.
23 years at IBM.
Yes.
You also worked for a telecom company.
Yes.
And now you're working for
Hospitality.
a hospitality industry.
Yes.
So what made you transition into those different industries?
First of all, when I joined IBM, when I was very young, IBM was one of the biggest, multinational companies that also involved in IT, information technology, which at that time, about 30 plus years ago, it was actually quite amazing because I like to learn the new challenge, and I believe that IBM can also, give that kind of challenge to me. And sure enough, I spent 23 years with the companies, with the local role, regional role, and some role in the headquarters. And after a while, I have seen that there's not much of a pipeline of the Thai executive who work outside of the country. So I really want to being some sort of role model for the other leaders,
And to run your own company.
Yeah, in order to groom the next generation of the leaders to be able to work in the multinational kind of environment. So I decided to step down and come back to the country, and I work with the telecom as the CEO of a satellite company. And if you can imagine, that was in 2011. Satellite companies, if you talk about satellite, not many people in the world would think about Thailand. So that's actually my passion, that I like to bring these companies, the skill set of the Thai people, to be able to show to the world that we have that kind of capabilities. And true enough, during my time as the CEO for about nearly 5 years, I brought them to be the best satellite company in Asia Pacific. And when there is the trend of the satellite industry conference in Washington, D.C., we actually have to be the one who talk about the trend in the industry. So I think I achieved those. But then, I think of what kind of other impact that I can create it to the larger group of the people of my country. And then if you look into detail, this day, the traveling industry, hospitality industry, actually create a significant growth to the country GDP. And if you want to be those who create impact to the country, you probably want to be in that segment, particular segment.
That's interesting, that transition from satellite to hospitality. What do you think is a constant, running a a satellite company, as well as running a hospitality industry? What connects the two in terms of making them successful?
Basically, it's people.
Yes.
Irene. All right, I think the content is something, right, that we also need to know about it. I transform myself or transition from IT, information technology, to satellite space technology, and to hospitalities. But whatever we do is being delivered by people.
Yes.
So that is actually the key element that I think it's, the key foundation of all type of industry.
You weren't born a CEO. So so early on, when you were young, what were you dreaming to be? Were you always interested in business?
Not exactly. I actually, grown up from the middle class family. We didn't really have much of a background in the business. My father was in Navy, but what I was taught when I was very young is that find your passion. That is actually where my parents always told me. Because if you can define yourself through your passion and you do everything at your best every day.
So what was your passion when you were young?
I actually
What did you study?
I study, can you guess, from the IT to satellite, space technology, now to hospitality. What should be my education background?
Liberal arts.
Oh yes, you're right. Normally people would guess that I actually had an engineering type of degree because I start off in the IT company. But yes, I actually start myself in psychology.
Yeah, because it has to do with people.
Exactly. And so therefore my passion is my people. All right. Whenever people recognize that SUPHAJEE, you're doing a good job, I'm actually not that, fulfilled enough if they're saying that SUPHAJEE, your people are so good. The gracious hospitalities or the passion of your people actually very outstanding. That's make me happy. So that is actually my passion. So when it comes to people, you don't have to look far. I have to look around. People around me is actually Thai. So I actually have passion about Thai. I like to, when I was in IBM, it is a big multinational company. When I was a country manager during the time, I was very young. I was 37 years old.
Wow.
Normally when they reached that post and they were the managing directors of IBM in that countries, in particular in Thailand, after they finished the terms of about 4+ years, they all resign and work in the local company. But I feel that there could be some role for Thai executive to work in the regional area at
as well as international.
Exactly. So therefore, I decided not to step down or not to resign from IBM, and I decided to took on a regional assignment in IBM. So I work side by side with the other peoples in ASEAN, in Asia, in Europe, and also in America.
Well, Dusit is international. So, who was the biggest influence in your family? Was it your mother, your father who was urging you to succeed?
Well, I think both.
Yeah.
And they actually influenced me in both different areas. My father, because he's in Navy, so he's actually influenced me in terms of discipline, which I think that is very critical.
It's very key.
For everyone. If you have disciplines and then very punctual and everything, that is actually something that I look up to for my father.
And your mother?
My mother, because she's a housewife, all right. She was a teacher before, and then when she had me, she decided to quit her role and become a full-time mother. Her heart is actually as big as, or probably the biggest, the heart that I have seen. She actually can give people everything she has, even more than what she has to other people. So she taught me that things in the world there's a lot of things in the world. It's very ample opportunities in the world. It depends on how you create this opportunity. So therefore, the generosities, the help and the willingness of working with people, the give kind of mentality were taught by my mom.
So, were you the eldest?
Yes, I am.
Of course you are. And how many were in the family?
I have the other younger brother. He is now the MD, Managing Director of Microsoft in Thailand.
Oh my goodness. So, a very talented family.
Thank you.
There you are. She is only one of many interesting business leaders here in Thailand.